Hi, and welcome back to One Way Football. Yes, we're back at the return of myself, James. It's been a long time coming. I've had a couple of weeks off. I've not been feeling too well. I thought I'd take some time off for Christmas and New Year's as well. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and a happy New Year. Right, on to football. We're going to do a Carabao Cup special because there is lots to talk about. Tonight is Tottenham versus Chelsea in the first leg. And also we are going to have a guest on the show, Adam, who is back with us. He is going to talk about the situation about Liverpool. Everything that's been happening at Liverpool at the moment. They've had a lot of COVID positive tests come in. I think they've had to change the way the team is playing because of this. You've got Mohamed Salah also away and Mane away. So without further ado, we are going to get Adam onto the show. Adam, are you there, mate? Yeah. So joined here with Adam, who's back in the room with us. It's been a long time coming, obviously, because of I've been ill. Obviously as well. We was actually meant to be doing, we was going to do a Christmas special, we was going to do a New Year's special, but we just never got round to it. Work and that's been kind of mayhem, I know, for you as well.
I think we work in the wrong industry to do a lot of stuff during that time, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you work nights, you just feel like you don't want to do anything through the day.
Yeah, exactly.
But going on to the subject of the Carabao Cup, obviously tonight it's Tottenham versus Chelsea. That should be a good game, to be fair. I think that both sides will put probably a strong team out anyway.
Yeah, Tottenham haven't been too bad recently either, have they? So, and then Chelsea are a bit jittery. So yeah, it might be a good game.
And to be fair, I was thinking with Chelsea, I was like, the last couple of seasons, we've always given them high hopes, haven't we, really? We've always kind of backed them to win the league or backed them to do great things. Okay, they won the Champions League. I kind of feel like it was kind of an easy path for them anyway, when they won that Champions League.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, God, there's still it's even Lukaku now. They've kind of dropped him, haven't they?
Yeah, he made those comments, didn't he, about leaving Italy? So they dropped him, but they dropped their £100 million striker for their £70 million striker. So
yeah,
they haven't really got a reason whether they play him or not, to be losing matches, do they? So
yeah. But at the same time, I like we were just talking before we started this, and you were saying that you went onto Arsenal Reddit and Arsenal fans have been going absolutely crazy because of it. And I get this and I understand this because I think us facing Liverpool couldn't have come at a better time for us right now because we've actually been on good form. I mean, even when we played City, even though we lost the game, we actually kind of nearly ran them off the park a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, for that first half, City, I think, didn't have a shot on target.
Yeah, I think it would have been the best time for you to obviously go against us as well because we don't have Mane or Salah at the moment because of the African nations. But I wouldn't say it's like some big conspiracy, like obviously they've all purposely got COVID or something and then asked. It's not Liverpool who've made the decision for it to be postponed. Obviously, Liverpool requested it, and then the FA have said, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that as well, but that also brings me on to my next question, because we always talk about where's the consistency in this, because obviously, was it Leyton Orient or something? They got booted out because of these kind of same reasons. And I'm like, are they doing it just because it's Liverpool and they're bending over backwards because of them?
I mean, there's always the possibility, but I thought it was the case of you end up forfeiting if the other team has scheduling issues, because Tottenham got booted out of the Conference Cup for the same thing. If the other team drags their feet and doesn't want to reschedule.
Oh, you mean Tottenham?
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not clear black and white going, oh, well, you can't front a team, so we'll kick you out. If you don't obviously do the go through the correct process and obviously find rescheduling for both of the teams, then you can forfeit it. Obviously, Arsenal have agreed that they can find a better date.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just obviously one-sided Liverpool where it's all of us requesting it. If you couldn't find a better day for us to schedule, then we would have had to forfeit anyway. So it's not just us, you know what I mean, who's kind of agreed for it to get postponed.
Yeah. I mean, so what I'm understanding is it's the whole team then. Your reserves, your it's literally just everything just gone to shit.
The whole of the training ground, which is under 18s upwards, so the under 21 team, and then obviously the senior team is all isolating. I think the under 15s is in a separate training ground.
Yeah.
So
it is frustration. I mean, it's because I know a lot of teams are getting it now. Arteta even had it, so he missed out the City game. And obviously Klopp had it, so he missed out on the Chelsea game. But it seems to be spreading again it seems to be spreading like wildfire again. The problem I'm thinking that Liverpool are going to have now is because obviously you're going to postpone this game against Arsenal, these next two games against Arsenal, first and second leg. Then you're going to have to postpone your FA Cup rounds as well. Is this going to affect Liverpool in the long run with Europe?
They've already posted the dates, haven't they? They're on the 23rd of January and something else. So I think they've got to move. They've said, was it UEFA have agreed to let the Premier League play Premier League fixtures during the Champions League fixtures. So if there's any obviously backlog for other teams, it's a bit more complicated for us because we're still in the Champions League. But
that's what I'm saying, because obviously
there's room now because you can do football on Wednesdays and Thursday nights to play catch up. The issue is obviously going to be, I think you play us on, is it the 23rd or something, and then you've got to play Burnley like 2 days after that or something, or 3 days. That's going to be where the issue will come from.
So we play yous on the 13th. And
then the second leg, is it?
And then the second leg, we play you on, I think it is, you could be right. No, we play you on the 20th.
Yeah, so you play Burnley on the 23rd.
We play Burnley on the 22nd, which is 2 days after.
Yeah, so that'll get moved, that 100%, that'll get moved over a day or something.
But, I mean, it's the FA Cup games as well. Because they're coming in thick and fast. Do you know what I mean?
When they did COVID, like, what was it, the 2020 season, they only did one leg for each of the, obviously, the knockout rounds and stuff like that. So I would be happy with us just playing at the Emirates, play one round at the Emirates rather than play two.
I thought it was the Carabao Cup that used to play both legs at Wembley.
No, they still do that, but it's the higher one up, in it. It's after this. I can't remember which bit we're even at, but it's when there's only 4 teams left.
This is a semi-final.
Oh well, yeah. Is it not?
It should be. I thought it was that, because in 2 legs they used to do it. So it was. I don't know if it's changed. If anybody knows, to put it in the comments below. But it used to be at Wembley, so there was no. It was a home and it was away, and do you know what I mean? Like it was always you're playing at the same ground. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it must be.
But because I know the FA Cup, they don't do that. The semi-final is the semi-final, and that's it. It's over.
It doesn't really make sense to have 2 legs in a semi, though. In my opinion, it should just be knockout. Obviously, you should have a neutral ground in that, but I don't think it matters too much. Like,
no. But is this going to? I mean, like going back to what I was going to say, is this going to affect Liverpool in their? I know that you've had injuries in the past and stuff like that, and obviously it depends how they get on in the African Cups, Mane and Salah and that. I mean, bloody hell, if they come back both injured, what's going to happen?
I mean, Senegal are one of the favourites to win it, so they might go quite far.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that with obviously us all having to deal with the COVID and that, and then obviously losing out on matches and then the match congestion, I think it's gave City the title, really. I don't think we've got any, because we're going to be playing catch up, us and Chelsea now, because they've got games in hand as well, don't they? So
yeah,
I think it's done them a big favour to get obviously a lot of this congestion out of the way, and then as the season gets to the close and the fixtures ease up a little bit, I think City will just be too far ahead, and we'll have too many games to not drop points. So I think this isn't a good thing for us, to be honest. I think we needed to get the matches out of the way. So
would you? I mean, like I asked you about your team that you'd probably pick up anyway, but I always ask this you, and you always come up with the same comment. The Carabao Cup is a meaningless cup, sorry. But I mean, when you get this far, do you not have to try and think of the outcome at the end? So it's another trophy.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, in the early stages of the season and that, obviously you've got to focus on the Champions League and the Premier League for us. So I think it goes by the wayside. But obviously if our younger players do manage to get us into that position, then it's worth going for the cup, isn't it? Who wouldn't go for a bit of silverware if there's a chance at it?
Yeah, well, anyone would. I mean, like you say, the overall run of City, it's going to be now hard for any team to catch them up unless they really start dropping points. I mean, the 10 points ahead Chelsea now. And
yeah. So
I mean, and we've only got like
the pressure on us to play catch up, doesn't it?
We've only got like 2.5 months left of games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very boring when City run away with it.
Well, this is it, isn't it? We were talking about this before, about the financial fair play. Do you know what I mean? And what are you meant to do when a team's got 2 starting 11s?
I know, it's only going to get worse as well with Newcastle. Obviously, they've started their spending spree this January, haven't they? They've already got, was it Trippier? They've got today doing a medical.
Still think like he's 30, he's 31.
Yeah, but I think he's got a good bit of experience to shore them up a bit, and he's got creativity in attack. So I think for obviously his position, he does offer quite a fair bit, you know.
Yeah, there's so many players they're after, like with us. There's Aubameyang. I think they're after Kolasinac as well.
They're after Coutinho as well, who these guys are after. So
it's going to be an interesting transfer window. Do you know what I mean? But like you say, money talks, doesn't it? But can money do enough to attract these players? And do they want to be fighting in a relegation battle?
I mean, it'll depend on what the clauses are on the contracts and stuff like that. I imagine, you know, some of the more established superstars and that, if they do go to Newcastle, they will have some sort of out that will let them, you know, get out of the contract easier, or a lower buyout clause for another team or something like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think that I said before, now the most interesting thing this season is going to be the race for top 4 and obviously that relegation battle, because obviously the City thing's completely and utterly gone, unless, like we say, something dramatic happens and slip up. But it seems like that race for top 4 is going to be a lot more interesting. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, after what's his name? Ralph Ragnick.
Yeah. Wreck-It Ralph.
After he took over though, because he's had a lot of success, obviously more as a director of football in other clubs and that. So I was like, crap. They've actually made an intelligent signing and they might turn around and that, but I haven't seen massive improvements. There's been loads of stuff coming out about Cristiano Ronaldo as well, like the dressing rooms on the edge of falling to bits and stuff like that. And then obviously Arsenal have probably been the biggest surprise, haven't they, in the top 6 anyway, I would say.
Well, at the beginning we were well in Carragher and Neville's what do you call it? What's the word for it? Predicted table. And it would be like, and they picked Arsenal to be the most underrated team in the league. But now they're looking at like the most overrated team.
Yeah. I mean, you're not taking points off any of the big boys though, really.
That's the only problem,
the problem, isn't it?
That is the only problem.
But that was our problem until we obviously Klopp took over. We would be the same under Brendan Rodgers, where we could consistently take points, but when it comes to the bigger matches, we would fall down flat. So that's not the worst problem to have, is it? So,
I mean, in 2 years, Arteta has not done a bad job.
No.
He's not done the worst job ever. Do you know what I mean?
And I said to you at the beginning of the season, a lot of the signings are more for building towards the future with, I forget the names off the top of my head, but obviously the keeper that you got in, the centre-back and stuff as well that you brought in, like they're more for building into a bigger scope or something rather than actually successless for this season, you know? So it's good that you're getting the results, isn't it?
I mean, we look at like City's 2 starting 11s. Chelsea, like they had a big squad anyway because of Lampard's crazy spendings when he was there. Liverpool, like we say, you haven't really spent anything. You've not really spent anything.
Not in about 2 years.
No.
But where us and City are kind of finished projects. I mean, Guardiola's like going through his second rebuild or third rebuild now, isn't he, of the City squad? Chelsea are still a work in progress.
That's mad, isn't it? Third rebuild.
So, I know. And then, well, we're kind of going through our second one at the moment. We've got obviously Jota we've brought in, Kanate as well for centre back and stuff like that. And then you just replace players here and there, and you keep the quality up, don't you? So
yeah, I mean. Yeah. Could say that Arsenal's probably on their 4th rebuild. The way the
yeah,
team's
but you have to have actually built something though for it to be a rebuild.
Let's just quickly go through the table. West Ham. Where would you think they were like overrated, the most overrated team this season?
Haven't they got a lot of players out at the moment? I can't actually remember, but they were good last season. They've done all right this. Well, they're doing way better than last season, to be fair. So yeah. I wouldn't say they're overrated. I'd say maybe the other teams around them are doing worse than they should be, and it's making them look better. Like Man U and Tottenham are the two teams underneath them at the moment, and obviously Leicester City as well are just doing terrible. So I would say it's more the case of other teams around them doing a lot worse. Yeah, I mean, looking at it as well, they got to the quarterfinal, the Carabao Cup. Yeah. They're still in. Is it the Europa League? They're still in the Europa League. So, I mean, there's the FA Cup still played for. So they might win. They might go away with something. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a massive success, wouldn't it? If they get obviously like 4th or 5th and come away with some silverware as well, that'd be insane for them. Yeah. So. Yeah. Tottenham. And Tottenham, I think they're a side now that we have to watch because I think Conte's not going to come to this club and not have a plan. Do you know what I mean? I think they've steadied the ship a bit as well, considering obviously... Well, the last game against Watford, I mean, they were lucky to get that 93rd minute goal, weren't it? Yeah, but they're not shitting the bed as much as they were. No, but I mean, their shots on target are awful. They're 6th at the moment, but they're only they've got 2 games in hand against West Ham, and they're only 1 point behind them. So technically, I would argue that they're actually 5th. You know, because they're going to get at least 1 win out of those 2, maybe. You know, so yeah, well, they're 1 point behind them. They're 1 point, but they've got 2 games in hand. Yes, so I would say they've probably got a win in one of those 2 matches. You know, so. Man United, I mean, we look at them now and you've got to kind of have a little giggle, ain't you? Because it's like a little bit. They had 2 games in hand and they kind of failed both of them. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Well, they should have been beating Wolves. Wolves as well have like had problems like getting goals. You know what I mean? Like they've been proper struggling. Like what's that? Goals for 14. Goals against 14 Wolves. They've been shocking at actually getting shots on target and stuff like that. So for them to lose against them was quite a big even when they drew against Newcastle. Just poor, just really bad, wasn't it? Strange lineup as well though for Wolves, wasn't it? Because I know who is it? Maguire's out, isn't he? So they started Phil Jones. His first Premier League start in, I think, a whole year. Yeah. And then they got Lindelof as well, don't they? He plays for them, and he didn't get a look in. They started Matic, who hasn't had legs for about 3 seasons. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a strange lineup, to be fair. But I think for everybody else, a bit of a happier lineup.
Yeah, looking on that sheet and the rest of the team, you go, yeah.
I mean, it shows that he's obviously looking for the quality and stuff like that and what he's seen in training and trying to apply that to matches. So at least he's taking risks and it's not only just playing his favourite mates, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but to be fair as well, I mean, Cavani and Ronaldo up top, you just think, that's just that's a marathon of goals right there, isn't it?
Nah, I think no legs, no pressing at the front. Cavani can't barely do 90 minutes of running around like a lunatic. Ronaldo's a bit selfish when it comes to play, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't.
But looking at their midfield, though, you'd think they'd have the assists to help them get them goals. They don't have to do a lot of running around when you've got Sancho, Greenwood, Matic, and McTominay all in that midfield. This is fucking hell, like that. They're prospect, young, good players right there.
Yeah, but they're not really at the heights where you're gunning for the top spot of the Premier League, are they? I wouldn't say that they're good enough right now. They're not world-class midfielders, are they? Do you know what I mean? They're still young and developing, and you can't rely on them to get you assists. So,
well, I mean, I just have to disagree a little bit. I mean, because McTominay's 25, Matic 33, Sancho's 21, and Greenwood's 20. Now we have
Sancho's first season in the Premier League. Mason Greenwood's been kind of knocked out of position because he was playing better as sort of behind a striker. Matic, again, hasn't got legs and has to stay back because he can't make up that ground if he gets caught out of position. And then who was the other one? I can't even remember.
McTominay.
Yeah. Is it McTominay or Greenwood that's been playing just behind the striker?
Greenwood's been behind the striker.
In the match just gone, they played like a flat four midfield with Cavani, and that's kind of not his role, is it? So it's just
It is a weird one, like with Man United. I feel like they've gone for too many like characteristics in the team. There's no real kind of leadership in that team because they all want to be the top gun and the talk of the town, didn't they?
I know, but then on the flip side, not take any responsibility for the fuck ups. So
well, that's it, isn't it? And the last couple of games, you've just seen Ronaldo just walk straight through to the tunnel, not even clap the fans, not even say sorry. Do you know what I mean? Just neglect. Do you know what I mean? And it's just you can just see it. He now probably is realizing what have I done? What have I done here? I've come to this Man United team that I don't know. That this isn't the Fergie side that I used to know and love. Do you know what I mean?
It's not anything like what obviously Old Trafford used to be a terrifying place to go to, didn't it? And you've got teams like Wolves going there going, we can get some points here. Do you know what I mean? It's the first time they'd won there since 1960 or something.
Was it 40 years? 40 years. Yeah. That's mental.
Absolutely crazy.
That's crazy.
So,
I'm just gonna skip the mid-table team because there's no real movement round there apart from Brighton. Brighton could actually overtake Wolves, Man United, and probably Tottenham. Yeah. Just imagine that. That would be actually. That would be an overrated team right there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've always liked Brighton. I like the way that they play footy, and they've made some decent little additions to their team, from last season and onwards, haven't they? So Leicester though, Jesus Christ, what's up?
Well, didn't you say that was the Brendan Rodgers effect though?
Yeah, I don't know if they've got injuries and stuff like that though. I'm sure that I know Leeds have got loads, but I think Leicester might be one of them as well, where they've got a fair few players out. So,
talking about Leeds, do you think they've got a chance now to stay up? I mean, they won their last game and then now they're on 19. They've pulled away from Watford a little bit on 13.
Yeah,
but
I would say purely they will stay up because of the other teams that are more likely to get relegated. There's worse teams than them, like Norwich are just they've got to be nailed on. I'd say Burnley are nailed on as well now, and then maybe Watford if Newcastle can sort their shit out. So I'd say they'll scrape it. They surely won't get relegated. It'll be massive disappointment if they do, to be fair.
I think one of the three teams that I do think will stay up it's got to be Newcastle. Isn't it? I mean, after this window, the players that they bring in must be enough to maybe get them off the line.
Yeah, but obviously they've got to play together and train and stuff like that before you get any real like cohesion for them to know where they're normally going to pass, where they'll dribble and stuff like that. So it's not even if they sign some of the best players in the world, it's not necessarily nailed on that they'll stay up, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I think my three would actually be probably now Norwich, Burnley, and Watford to go down. I think that would be more.
Yeah.
What would be your three?
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah.
But only if Newcastle absolutely spend a ton of money in January.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see it.
Money bags over there.
Yeah. But to be honest, with the signings that they're making good defensive signings. And I said to you, Newcastle are okay when they're going forward. Like they've got 3 decent attackers. So if they can sort that defense out and then actually build forward from that, they'll have a decent little team, won't they? So
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I just want to quickly talk about and because I have to get this off my chest. The consistency of VAR, and you always go on about it with Liverpool, don't you? I mean, because it's just a shambles. What's the point of having VAR there if it's not used correctly in the proper term of what it's meant to be used for?
Yeah, it's the referees covering each other's backs. I mean, I know it's not a nice job, and like they get death threats and all sorts of crap, don't they, and stuff. But I do feel like they need to be mic'd up and they need to take responsibility for the decisions and stuff like that and explain them better. Because obviously, I'm going to be biased and see it how I want to see it because I want my team to win. So obviously, with that tackle that Harry Kane did, and it doesn't get taken back for a VAR, but in the rules of the game, that's a red card. But they don't see it. They don't see it as a clear and obvious error for them to come back and look at it. And I want them to explain why.
Yeah, I think DT came out with a good statement on Twitter the other day, saying why can't referees after the match have an interview on why they made the decision, so it makes it more clearer to fans and an understanding of why they did it.
They should, but then they protect each other, don't they? And they've got their own little, like, you can't even speak out against them without getting a fine, which is just stupid. And like if an organization wants to improve, then it shouldn't be immune to criticism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise the issues are never really going to get fixed. Because we thought, when VAR comes out, then there's no way that these dodgy little decisions will, they'll disappear. But on the flip side, it's just turned into the referees protecting the referees by going, we didn't see it, so we didn't see it necessary for us to pull it back as an obvious error. It's like, I can see it on TV, so why can't you see it and you're sat on the pitch?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just used to protect themselves at the moment, isn't it? But yeah, I think an interview at the end of the match would help a little bit. But I feel like if they did it like they do in rugby and they actually mic them up live during the match and you can hear them speak to the players, then that would do a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, because they have brought in the VAR, which is a kind of what they do. They review it in other games, don't they? So they kind of brought that in to help the game of play. But there's another thing as well where, with the flag doesn't go up until after the ball's been played, yeah? But then the consistency of that also doesn't sometimes happen.
Irritates the crap out of me because it feels like there's bias sometimes. Like, for example, if Chelsea had a ball through, then the linesman wouldn't wave and they'd let the play carry on to see if there's a goal, and then it would go to see if VAR for offside if there's a goal, right? Yeah. Whereas when we were going through, the flag would go up straight away and they would be a really close decision. So I was like, hang on, well, why did that one go up and then the other one didn't? When that one was blatantly offside, but the other one wasn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just there's no consistency, and it makes it look like the team, the refs are being biased towards one team, because if they don't put the flag up and then you've got your team tracking back, then your centre backs are getting tired out by constantly having to defend against these obviously offside runs, whereas the other team are getting it pulled back straight away. So
yeah, it was like when we didn't have VAR, it was a lot better. Because you'd have more to talk about after the game anyway. You'd have more of an opinion on the offside rule. Do you know what I mean? It was now it's just, I think it's completely ruined the game completely. There's no fun in the game without having to wait 5 or 10 minutes to see what VAR said. It's ridiculous. It takes everything away what is football now. Do you know what I mean?
It does. But on the flip side, when you're a team that's chasing a title, or you're a team that's trying to avoid relegation, these decisions going the wrong way can obviously lead to you getting relegated or you not ending up winning the league. So
yeah,
I think it's good that they review it. It's just the consistency, isn't it? And you look at the other leagues as well, like the German league and the Spanish league and stuff like that. I don't ever see them having those problems. And like the Championship don't use VAR, do they?
No.
Whereas League Two in Spain do, because when I went to watch Las Palmas, they use VAR. Like a little stadium had VAR set up and ready to roll, and you don't have it in obviously what's meant to be one of the best second leagues in the world, which can train
because they don't even have
referees and officials better.
They don't even have it in Europa League.
It's just ridiculous, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think though, if they have it in the lower leagues, then the officials can be trained better, can't they, on how to officiate and use the VAR correctly? So.
Yeah. It's just like you say, inconsistency and you know, like when I was watching that City game as well, I never opened my eyes to it before. I've never spoke out on it before because I've never really truly seen it from an Arsenal's perspective. Do you know what I mean? I mean, most of the time, I'm very down the line with it and go, yeah, it was a red card. Yeah, it was this. Yeah, Xhaka is an idiot and shouldn't be at our fucking club anymore. But I mean, when the first penalty that's like that goes on, right? So Edison comes over, sticks his foot out, studs up. You can see Odegaard's foot getting bent like that, and it's Odegaard's foot that pushes the ball away. Right. Okay.
But so on another angle I've seen though, it looks
like Odegaard's foot is on Edison.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So from two different angles, it looks like a foul, and it doesn't look like a foul.
But at the same time, he should have went to the TV and looked himself.
Yeah, 100%. It should have been looked at. But there's another thing as well, like
why is VAR getting into his head and he's turning the decision around? If his decision's made and he hasn't gone to look at that TV, then his decision should stand. It shouldn't be what's in his earpiece and going, oh no, all right then. But if he's not quite sure on it,
but obviously with VAR, if he has made a clear and obvious error, even though it's not a clear and obvious error, so it should have been given as a penalty, shouldn't it? That's what it's there for.
Yeah, really. But if he's not sure, because he's already, he should go to the screen. I mean, because on the second one, when Xhaka, when Silva's going down and Xhaka pulls in his shirt, he goes straight to the screen.
The thing is,
but he's in sight of it.
Fernandinho for Man City gets away with hundreds of them over the course of the season, and never gets yellows. Yeah, every because it happens to us as well. Every time we play and we do one shirt pull and it's yellow, whereas I've seen Fernandinho do that hundreds of times and never get a card. It's part of the way that City play the game. When they're out of position, they do tactical fouls. Yet for some reason, they always seem to get away with it. And
I can't stand it. And then you see on the media and that the ref comes out and goes, oh, well, yeah, my decision actually was wrong. Now I look at it again and again. And you go, that's no good to anybody now. This is no good to anybody now. It's complete and utter crap. Do you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people out there now are just going to be, oh, James is moaning because they lost. And I'm like, no, I actually do. My eyes are quite wide open now.
No, so this it annoys me though, because we're meant to have the best league in the world and the referees can't get anything right. Like when Harry Kane did that foul against Robertson, and all that everyone did was post pictures about Robertson doing that foul on I can't even remember
which
who
he
it was.
did.
Yeah, no, and I was like, yeah, which is fair enough, but that's not really like a much of a. It's not like got you. That means your argument's invalid. But it doesn't make my argument invalid. He should have been sent off as well. The problem is this is meant to be the best league in the world, and you can't even see a foul and do a card for it. You know what I mean? It's just mind blowing, isn't it? Really.
I mean, even on that City game, it kind of wound me up as well. We almost got a goal. Saka goes running to the ball, and the ball hits the line. The referee runs into the actual box, in the penalty box.
Yeah.
In front of Gabriel, who's a striker. And Gabriel, it literally runs into the referee. Like, what is he doing running into the box? Like,
he shouldn't be doing
that.
That's what I mean, though. It does make you suspicious of the game sometimes. It's like, is this all just a fix?
Yeah, no, but it's like, I'm just like looking, I'm going, what is the ref running full sprint into the box for? Like,
it's funny as well, because normally whenever I think of where a referee's positioned and that, when the ball's in the box, it's usually around the half circle, isn't it? So they never usually stood in the box. So yeah, that is a bit weird.
It's crazy. I mean, if you need to have a look at it, though, it's just mental. All right, then going back to the Carabao Cup before we finish this, Tottenham, Chelsea. What's your predicted scoreline on that one, mate?
Oh, I reckon.
I don't know if it's at home, if Tottenham's at home, or I think Tottenham are at home.
I'd need to know that.
Let's have a look. No, Chelsea are at home.
2-1 Chelsea. I'm going to say that.
2-1 Chelsea. I think Tottenham are going to nick it 1-0. I think Tottenham are. Conte's going to be out to get a bit of a revenge on Chelsea.
That's true. That.
All right, and then we're going to go to our dates fixture, the 13th. Obviously, it's going to be a tough one for you because you don't know who's going to be there. But if you was going to go for a score with your predicted lineup.
I think it's at Anfield, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough place to go. Doesn't matter what team you have.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Liverpool.
I'm going to go with 0-0
to Arsenal.
0-0 to Arsenal.
I thought you said 1-0.
No, I said
1-0.
No, 0-0. 0-0.
Yeah.
0-0. And then I can't really say how the next game would go, but I just think it'd be a tough game as well. I'll go to penalties. Yeah. There's every time we seem to get you, if it be the Community Shield or the Cup game, we always usually go to penalties anyway.
Yeah, we've got Brentford as well between those two matches, so we can be decently rested as well, I reckon.
Yeah,
might work out for us that.
So we're going to end it there. Thanks, Adam, for coming on the show. We will have to get together soon before the season finishes and do a couple of other shows. From me and Adam, it's peace up. Hit out. Long time.
I've done that in years.
Cheers, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will catch you very shortly. Enjoy tonight's game. Cheers, mate. See you in a bit.
One Way Football.